The Reman Project is a coaching and consulting firm specializing in personal and leadership development for adult Black males, seeking to break the vicious cycle of missed potential so that they themselves transform their personal lives, their sense of leadership to their families, and their legacies that they want to leave for business and culture. We destroy this cycle on two fronts. We confront both the institution and the individual. We address the institution because, according to the statistics, Black males are under assault and are targeted for extinction in ways that their white counterparts are not. We are over incarcerated and undereducated. There are systems in place, political systems, media systems, and religious systems that serve as intentional, or some say unintentional, barriers to the Black male's advancement. As a result, we work to raise public awareness about issues confronting Black males, promote healthy and positive images about Black males, curate spaces to share information and resources about programs, services, and support for Black males, support knowledge creation and dissemination around these issues, and provide a forum for Black males to both speak and act for themselves. We address the individual Black male because we cannot avoid personal responsibility. We are now overmothered and underfathered. We make bad social choices, and we avoid responsibility for getting ourselves out from under the social plight that we face. We will develop the moral compass and character necessary to face the adverse realities that are faced in everyday life. We live by the premise that even that which is not our fault is still our responsibility. In 2019, we answered the call to transform the culture one man at a time. Our society, our families, and men in particular are in a state of crisis. And the goal of the Reman Project is to curate the largest, strongest, and dopest community of Black males in the entire world. We then create awareness and action against the institutional and individual impediments that exist against the foundation of our culture and overall society, which is the Black male. You know how we do it. What's up, y'all? This is Donald Morton, Chief Visionary Officer of Reman, and at Reman, we help Black businessmen interrupt patterns, disrupt behaviors, break the vicious cycles of missed potential so that we master life, leadership, and legacy. This is not an episode of the Grown Man Podcast, which is the reason why you do not see Dr. Leroy McKenzie Jr. with me today. You know, we always have to put Jr. on his last name, or he gets a little upset. He gets a little irritated. So if you've ever met him, or if you've ever had a conversation with him, do me a favor, call him Leroy McKenzie. Don't put Jr. on his name, and just to see how he responds. Get him out of character. He kind of views himself and prides himself as being a man who maintains control and very disciplined and loving and kind and that kind of thing. Just leave off Junior and watch how he responds to that. It won't be so pretty. All of the things that you thought you knew about Dr. Leroy McKenzie Jr. will go out the window. So welcome to a conversation that I'm going to have with a brother that I just deeply respect and honor. And so his name is Brian McNeill. He is going to be on with me in just one moment. He is sitting in the black room. You know, nothing's blue here. Nothing's green. Nothing's white. Everything's blackety black here with Remand. And so we're excited to have him with us. Before I introduce you to Brian and have him come on stage, I want to acknowledge just how important it is for you as Black men, those of you that are watching that are Black men. And of course, I think it's always dope to see our sisters engaged as well. But primarily, you guys know what we do here. We talk to black men, we talk to black businessmen, and I want to ask some questions of Brian McNeill around his new book that he has. It's one of seven books that he has, but this is his newest release and newest creation. I'm really looking forward to talking with him about it. We are in a really strange kind of time. Everybody's kind of choosing sides. And one of the things that I want to talk with Brian about is uh, which is kind of a curveball. I'm gonna wait till he gets on stage, see how he answers it. He's very, very seasoned, very, very polished. So I'm not even going to tell him what the question is. Um, but I'm excited to be with you guys. Listen, we are in a strange time. We're in a time where we're going to have to address the politics of the day. We're going to have to address um, the Democratic Party. We're going to have to address the Republican Party. We're going to have to address the challenges of being an independent. We're going to have to address all of it, right? And um, I'm having a lot of my colleagues and friends and classmates. Uh, yeah, Brian says he's grateful to have found his lane. This is absolutely his lane. My wife's. Let me tell y'all. Shout out to my wife, but not really, right? Because I'm a clowner, right? Because those of y'all that know Lala knows that Lala will take an opportunity to talk slick to me anytime she gets an opportunity to talk slick, and then look at me like I'm the one wrong, right? So I was having a conversation with her, and I forget what we were talking about, but she took the opportunity to say, "Yeah, babe, I think it's great that you know how to stay in your lane." And I kind of really took it like, yeah, we weren't talking about business or anything like that. So I kind of took it like she was saying, hey, know how to play your position, Donald. I think you have learned how to play your position in this marriage. Don't cross the line. Know that I'm the leader. I heard all of these different things that she didn't say. She didn't say these things, but I heard them in my mind. It's the unhealed version of me that heard them in my mind, like she was coming for me. So when you see my wife, just like when you see Dr. Leroy McKenzie Jr., when you see my wife, talk to her about that. How disrespectful she can be when talking about our marriage, telling me to stay in my lane, telling me the importance of knowing how to play my position. Y'all see how I'm rolling my neck, and she didn't do any of that, but that's what I heard, right? That's what I heard. So we're in a time that, brothers, you're going to have to engage in. And you're going to have to engage. What's been amazing to me is just how many people have asked me to vote for the Democratic Party, or asked me whether or not I would vote for Trump, or who I would vote for. And the answer for me is very, very simple. It's not a matter of Trump or Biden. Uh, I I consider Biden a friend. I respect him and his family. He is from the great state of Delaware, so I respect him and his family. I've met him. I've got pictures shaking hands with him and his lovely wife Jill, and I've been invited to the White House. But I've been invited to the White House when Trump was president too, right? You can't buy me. Not Neither of them have attempted to buy me, but you can't buy me. I'm going to stand with the individual that cares about, listen to me very carefully. I'm going to stand with the individuals that care about black men. Everyone is asking me to pay attention. One dear friend of mine, her name is Paula Mariano, said to me today that you want to vote Democrat, you want to vote blue because of your wife, and you want to vote blue because of your family, you want to vote blue because of this and because of that. I said, Paula, in none of your commentary with me did you suggest that I needed to vote blue because it was in my best interest as a black man. I know it may be in the best interest of my wife, and I know it may be in the best interest of other family members, so on and so forth. But I am locked in solid to what's in my best interest as a black man. Does it impact me as it relates to family? Are there parts of the platform that suggest that we need to do something about child support? Are there some things in the program or platform that suggest we need to do something about increasing the viability of Black men being custodial parents, right? That we're not just non custodial parents. We should be looked at as custodial parents, that we are more than capable of raising our children, right? I want to talk about the importance of education and knowing how Black young boys are educated. I want to talk about how many Black men are in front of the classroom and not just Black men in discipline. So that the first time that a young Black man gets an opportunity to see another Black man in school usually has to do with him getting into trouble. So have you ever thought that young Black boys get into trouble so that they can have interaction with Black men? Right? So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the starting of businesses, right? I have more on my mind than abortion. And even if we want to talk about abortion, let's talk about it. I want to talk about the ways in which abortion has been weaponized against fathers who have no say in whether or not abortion takes place. So we can have a broad conversation, but that's not why we're here today. I just needed to get on the soapbox before I brought my boy up, um, Brian K McNeill, dope guy. He is above everything else. He is the husband of Lisa, right? It's not really about Brian. In fact, in order for me to get Brian here today, I had to get Lisa's permission. It wasn't. She said he is available. And because she said he was available, I booked him. And then he comes on and says, "What about me? I think I'm available." I said, "Well, it really isn't about you. It's not about whether or not you're available. Lisa says you're available, and so you are available." I want you guys to welcome to the stage Brian K McNeill, my guy. Good to see you, my man. Good to see you.
Donald Morton, you my guy too. I've been cracking up the whole time. I want to say some things first off. First off, what a powerful opening commercial you have.
Oh,
I
thank
love it.
you.
I love it. It's so powerful and it hits where I need to be hit. And we can talk about anything, but I am the sales confidence coach. I am the world's recognized authority on selling services and the king of the conference room. And I have written those books, but I'm a Black man first, second, and third. And I host a Black men's meeting since 2013. So I love you and I love what you stand for.
Yes,
Donald, you've always been a model of consistency for me. So I see
yes.
that as a leadership trait. So we can talk about anything you like. I have my book handy. We can talk about that, but we can talk about anything.
I probably will talk about anything and everything with you because yes, you have platforms as it relates to sales, confidence, and that those kinds of things. But my first interaction with you was not around anything having to do with sales. My first interaction with you was being a part of that phenomenal group that you have where brothers come together, talk, and address different issues.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, we Brian, I see you put here, we've got to address felony policy in the legal system, justice and judicial systems. We've got to affect that. And yes, everybody, I hear you. And sometimes brothers don't like to talk about this, Brian, but there's a way for us to be able to address the character and culture of systems, right? And how they impact Black men, and while at the same time addressing the character and internal chaos of Black men themselves. Oftentimes it's either or instead of the and both approach. Remain takes the and both approach. Yes, we will fight systems, but we also fight for the character of individual Black men so that they understand I'm not relying on the system to do anything for me. If it's going to happen with me, it's going to happen because I make it happen myself. So I want to welcome you to today's conversation, man. And I'd like to kind of begin on that front,
Okay, let's go.
Brian. Kind of marrying um, this season that we're in, right? We're in the season of politics. Everybody is questioning whether or not Donald J. Trump, I think Donald J. Trump is worthy to be president. He is a convicted felon, right? Or whether or not Joe Biden is worthy to be president, who is the king of gaffes. There is nobody that can butcher a statement like Joe Biden. But let me tell you this about Joe Biden. I'm not voting for either of them, so I can speak to on both of them, right? Let me tell you about Joe Biden. If you Joe Biden is the kindest, most compassionate. I know personally, right? So I'm not telling anyone something I don't know because I watched some television show. Joe Biden is the real deal. He believes what he believes. He thinks what he thinks, and nobody can kick him out of that space. I don't agree with a lot of his policies, but as a human, he's a good guy. Joe
Well, let me
Biden
say
is a really,
this.
really good guy.
I don't believe he's the king of gaffes. And anyone who says that, I think that's just been politicized. But anyone who thinks Joe Biden is the king of gaffes and misspeaks, watch one Trump speech. Watch
No,
two
no,
Trump
no, no,
speeches.
no,
Yeah.
no. Here's the difference between the two.
Tremendous. Okay.
Here's the difference between the two as it relates to gaffes, right? Donald Trump is intentionally misinforming. He's intentionally misinforming. Joe
And
Biden
no, in
is
other words,
a
say that is lying.
yeah, he's lying, right?
Okay.
Joe Biden is the king of gaffes because he doesn't what he says many times is not really what he wants to say. Joe has a stutter. So, what many people don't know about President Biden is he has a stutter. And sometimes what he says, like he said, I think last night, that he is grateful to be the first Black president. Right? That's not a lie. That's a gaffe. Like
Okay, you're right. That's a gap. I didn't hear that, but yes.
Joe Biden does not think he's grateful to be the first black. He actually said the first black woman president. Right?
Have the
He
first
got
black.
he got confused
Yes.
talking about his work with Kamala Harris and
Mhm.
his work with President Barack Hussein Obama. He just
Yes.
married the two and called
He
himself a
was the
black
vice
woman.
president with Barack. He was a part of the administration of.
Yes,
Oh my
yes, but
gosh.
he called himself. I just watched it because I couldn't believe I said somebody clowning, right? But he actually called himself the first black
Funny.
woman president.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we know that that's a gaffe. That
Okay.
Donald
I heard
Trump.
what you said about Trump is doing it on purpose lying.
Yeah,
I want to get this off.
yeah,
Okay. Um, I believe that people who can, I heard you say you're not voting for either, but
yes,
people who can get themselves to a place where they support Trump
yeah,
and they can get themselves to a place where they believe in him and
yeah,
follow him and will vote for him.
yeah,
Those are people who are willing to overlook so much. They're
yeah,
willing to overlook way more than I'm willing to overlook.
yeah,
Willing to overlook decades of abject racism and pettiness and meanness and retribution and seventh grade insulting. They're willing to overlook so much.
yeah.
I was interviewed last 3 weeks ago from a guy that was a hero of mine in the industry. I had read his book when I was first young in the game, and I thought his book was amazing. He's all over the place. He's a millionaire speaker and all that. And he had a podcast, and he's out of Vegas, and he's still an amazing guy. And he had me as his guest. And he had done all his research about me and my wife. And the interview was going well. And he kept talking about mutual respect for people, how important it is that we respect each other. And I heard that. And near the end of the interview, he says, "Well, I guess by now you can tell I'm a Trump guy." And I said, "Well, I couldn't." Because if you're a Trump guy, you can't be respectful to other people because that doesn't go together. That's incongruent. He's not respectful to others.
Yeah.
So, and then he wanted to invite me to speak on his platform in Vegas, and I'm not going to go. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
because I can't respect, I lose something from you if
Yeah.
you say this on one hand and then say I'm a Trump guy.
Yeah. Well, let's say this too, though, and then we'll get into the interview a little more
Okay.
deeply, right? Let's say this as well, that whether it's Democrats or Republican, let's acknowledge that there's troubles on both sides. That the
I would
whole
agree.
racism issue is not Republican specific, and it is also on the blue side of the aisle, which is a part of the reason why I've always been registered for the last several years as an independent. Right? It was Bill Winston who said, "I don't come to take sides; I come to take over." This isn't about, for me, Democrat or Republican. It's about position. It's about ideology. It's about, for me, what's in the best interest, again, for Black men. I am laser focused on Black men. And there have been some policies on both sides of the aisle that have been really, really clearly against what is in the interest of Black men. So that will always be my position. But I do want to ask you this, Brian, because I think you have a unique perspective to this answer or to this question that I'm interested in getting your feedback on. One of the things that has been noted as we kind of look at both sides, right? As we look at the side of the Democratic Party and Joe Biden, as we look at the side of the Republican Party and Donald J. Trump, there are those who suggest, and I really like your position on this, who suggest that what the Republican Party does better than the Democratic Party is sell its points, right? That there seems to be an emotional connection on the Republican side that isn't always on the Democratic side. And some have asked, why would you even ask? And again, those of you that are watching, be really, really clear that I'm not voting for either. And miss me with the idea that voting for neither votes for Trump. You can't get me with that. I'm too grown. I'm too mature for that. So
I have a perspective on that. Okay?
yeah. So Brian, first, what is your perspective on the idea that one is better than the other at sales, at selling the idea that they are best for the country?
Well, I'm gonna tell you the trick that Donald Trump has successfully executed.
Got it.
Is he got both sides talking about him. Okay. He's got people that like him talking about him a lot. Yes. And he's got people that don't like him.
Yes.
Still talking about him a lot.
Yes.
So Biden's like almost an afterthought. So Trump has been able to sell himself and his name. And that's why he's bigger than his party. He's bigger than his party.
Wait, slow down. I know you watch the Grown Man podcast, and while this is not the Grown Man podcast, I got to slow you down when you drop a nugget that's strong, because what you just said is incredibly important. Say that one more time. He's bigger.
He's bigger than his whole party. Okay. He has figured out to get all of the Republicans talking about him. Yes. Or commenting on him. Even if they like him or not, it doesn't matter. They don't have a choice anymore. Every microphone gonna be stuck in their face talking about him, okay? And he's got the other side, same thing. They all have to respond to his stuff. During his first month in 2017, when he had the ban, okay, the and travel ban, okay, and it was poorly executed, okay. From that first month on, everything, the world was talking about how stupid he is, how ugly he is, but they still talking about him, okay. It's on the old premise, all publicity is good publicity. Why is that true? Because they still saying your name. Joe Biden's name is not in nearly as many mouths as Trump's name is. And even when you put Joe Biden's name in a mouth, Trump comes with it too. Yeah. So that's his effective trick in sales. Okay? Yeah. It's like he's the only one, really. Okay. Yeah. Now, if he wins again, I'm not going to be as upset about it as last time, because I'm just not going to play along. Okay, if they vote him in, they get what they deserve. It's going to be ugly. The ugliest 4 years of my adult life was 17 to 21. Those were the ugliest years I can remember. But that was his years. You know, a rise in white supremacy, a rise in Karenhood, because he emboldened that. And if they want that again, okay, fine. Okay.
Yeah, so Ursula Garnett, dear friend of mine, says this. She said, Trump sells a subliminal message, and because many Americans are under a subliminal curse, this is why they're okay with voting for a felon. Let me just say this to you, Ursula. 90% of the decisions that we make are in a subconscious reality, right? So it's not a curse, it's just science, right? So when we talk about messaging, and Brian, I remember being on a call with Brian, because I was interested in and we'll move past the whole politics thing.
Okay.
I wasn't good at sales. And the reason why I wasn't good at sales, B, is because When I heard sales, talk me through this, right?
I'm ready. Yeah.
When I heard sales, I heard the sleazy car salesman,
Yeah.
right? When I heard sales, I always heard someone trying to get me to buy something I don't really want to buy,
Yeah.
right? And actually manipulating me to actually purchase it.
Okay.
I've come to understand differently, particularly after our initial conversation about sales.
Yeah.
But can you give a third grade
Sure.
education
This is
about
my
what
ministry.
sales is?
Yeah, I got you. Um, in a live workshop, which I do a lot of, I'll do this example. I'll say, are there any women in this room that consider themselves single women? And a bunch of hands that go up. I say, hey ladies, I got this guy I want to introduce you to, and he's a salesman type. Now, what image comes to mind? And there'll be a lot of negative imagery.
Yes.
Sleazy, car salesman, pushy, hide your wallet. Overall negative. Okay.
Yes.
Now, why? I didn't tell him if he's a good guy or bad guy. I didn't tell him how tall he was or short he was. I didn't say he would look like a nothing. All I said was a salesman type. And they put all this other stuff on it. Now, why did they do that? I could do that in Kansas City, in New York, and Florida, Atlanta. I could do it anywhere, and there'll be the same response. Why is that? It's because in this country, up until about the 90s, salespeople had the advantage over the consumer. They knew what the products really did. And the consumer had to hope they got an honest salesperson. That was the hope. They just looked for somebody honest. Because the salespeople could get away, they couldn't check them out. They couldn't verify anything. But in the mid-90s, with the advent of Google and cell phones, okay, now car dealerships can't tell you anything because people can Google what the dealership paid to get the car. They know what the real price is. They can research better now. So now the average consumer knows as much as the average salesperson, if not more. Okay. Wow. When was the last time any of you guys that are watching this, when was the last time you even met or come across a pushy or aggressive or a backslapping, joke-telling salesperson? When was the last time you even saw one of those people?
That's very true.
And for most people, the answer is more than 10 years ago, sometimes even 20 years ago, since they even seen anybody like that. But it's still in their head. It's still psychic disrepair. That person has gone the way of the dodo bird, the dinosaur. It's extinct. They can't live anymore. When we watch a movie, when we go anywhere, when we buy anything, we check out the reviews. Okay, we check out the reviews because no one wants to waste their time.
Very true.
That's right. So you can't get away with just saying anything anymore. So, but here's the problem, though, Donald, because people didn't want to come across as salesy.
Yes.
Okay, they didn't want to come across that way because the image, the pendulum has swung so far back that the average entrepreneur today is way more wimpy than they have ever been. Okay, they won't even ask for business because they don't want to come across as salespeople. What they do now is good presentations. They'll do a good presentation and then hope that the clients will say, that was so impressive. I think I want what you have. Can I hire you for it? But they're just not going to do that. They're not going to close themselves. Or they'll do this. They'll hope and pray that this romantic idea that social media will sell for you. Okay.
Yes.
Social media, or this whole concept of making sales without selling, which has never been true. Okay? Never been true.
Yeah.
The word sell, first off, it's the oldest profession in history. Some people think the oldest profession in history is prostitution.
Prostitution.
But even that is a subsection of selling. Okay? Because what do you do? What is prostitution? You're selling your body for sexual favor. But it's still selling. The word sell is a Greek compound word coming from two words, selling ye, which literally means to help. When you sell, you are helping someone to get the goods and services that they want and that they need. Now, I am a believer. Okay, I think you know that about me.
Yes.
I'm a believer, and I believe in the tenets of the Bible. And one scripture, well, there's probably 10 scriptures I can name right now, but I'm gonna just give one. Proverbs 11:26 is that the people will curse the ones that withhold the grain. They wish blessings upon the ones that will sell it. If you have answers or solutions, that's your grain. And if you won't sell what you have, if you won't sell it, I mean, the Bible's basically saying, curse you. because you got a solution and you keep it to yourself. You're supposed to sell it in exchange of something for value. But if you will sell it, they wish blessings upon you because the solutions you have, they can now get. If you have a solution to something, if you have something that can solve another person's problem and you won't sell it, you are committing a crime. The crime you're committing is the sin of the desert. The sin of the desert, Donald, that's when you know where the water is, but you won't tell anyone else. You know where the solution is, but for whatever reason, they don't know me. I'm tired. I don't know what they're going to say. They might reject my offer. Whatever. You being selfish. You have a solution. You have the water, and you're keeping it to yourself. You're being selfish. You're supposed to sell.
You know what, man? This is why you're probably the best that ever did it, right? Because one of the things that I tell the guys that are inside the Remain program, if you're a black man, you're a businessman, and you are married, you got children, you're trying to figure out how to manage it all, right? How to be a businessman without losing wifey, and how to be a husband without losing yourself. I'm the guy to talk to. Hit me in the DM if you'd like to talk about ways in which we can help you. What I say to guys inside the program, yeah, me too, Ursula. I love that analogy as well, right? When I talk with guys inside the program, I always say to them, I give them similar analogy, B, but I talk to them about penicillin, right? If at the time that we discovered or created or whatever happened with penicillin, if you have that, that is the sin of the desert. If you have penicillin, that is the answer to everyone's ill, and you choose to withhold that, right? Then you got to see that as problematic.
That's a
right?
horrible person that will do that.
It's a horrible person that would do that.
You have invented penicillin that will cure 100 different things. Okay, a person that can take moldy bread and make penicillin that cures 100 illnesses, but he decides he's not going to sell it to or jack up his rates to exorbitant fees. Those are lowly people. Those are horrible people, because that's selfish and that's ugly. You're supposed to sell in an effort to help. You know, as a grown-up, I think you got to make 3 sales every day. You'd have to make 3 sales every day, Donald. So do I. Okay, we do. And the 3 sales we have to make as adults every day. Number 1 sale you have to make every day is you have to sell yourself on yourself. You have to sell yourself that you are worthy of the space you occupy. You have to remind yourself of the good of you. You have to remind, because adults can forget how great they are. They can forget their good works unless they figure out a way to reinforce it. But the first sale you got to make every day is to the person in your mirror. That's number 1. The second sale you got to make every day, that I have to make every day, is to the people in my circle. I got to sell my wife every day that I'm deserving of having her as my wife. Okay, I have to sell the people in my circle that I am good. I have that every day. I have to remind them or do something that earns the right for me to be her husband. Yes, I have an amazing wife. I do. You have an amazing wife.
Absolutely.
Even though you guys play and it's fun. I love it. Okay.
Absolutely.
But you do have an amazing wife.
Yes.
Man, just today I was buying suits this morning in the store. And Lisa was off from me. And I said, hey, Lisa, come. And this dude, he saw me call my wife over and he couldn't help himself. He goes, man, you are great. Your life is balanced. You have a wife. And I said, I want to talk to him. I said, yeah, I know what you mean, bro. He goes, no, I don't have a wife. But you have a woman that you can call over and look at you in this suit. Okay. How cool was that? Okay. That's the second sale. You got to sell the people around you. And the third sale is into the world. To the world. You got to sell yourself to the world. What you're occupying, your service, what you have to offer the world. For some people, it's a job. And you should do that job as if you're doing excellently. Once you leave your circle, once you leave your home, you again have to account for yourself. You know, you have to be something. You got to represent something. That's why when I want to look right. I want to look like I'm ready to answer the question. I want to be helpful. That's why it seems like people want to talk to a brother. Maybe it's on my face or whatever. But every day you have to sell yourself on yourself. Sell yourself to the people that matter to you every day. You don't get days off on this. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, most definitely, man. Yeah, Ursula
Ursula,
says
I appreciate you, but you sell yourself to the people in your circle. Sell
sell
yourself to them.
yourself to the people in your circle. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. And she put that as number two. So
Yeah.
she had them in order.
Yes.
Yeah, she's good afternoon, Crystal Fendi Styles Clark. Good to see you.
What a
Thank you.
name.
Yeah, that's my folks. Good to see you. Thank you for popping in. Um, are you working today, Crystal Fendi Styles Clark, or are you? I know you're a boss, so you can do whatever you want to do. I'm just asking the question. Um, Brian, let's talk about family. Let's
Okay.
talk about you and Lisa. Let's talk
Mhm.
let's talk about my dear friend Dr. Jamal Harrison Bryant just announced his engagement to his fiancee Carrie. And I've heard him on several broadcasts, man, talk about how he was genuinely at 70% capacity in comparison to what he could be if he were married, right?
Interesting.
He said he was functioning at 70%, right?
Interesting.
Um, I have been married and divorced and married again. So I
Me too.
understand what it means to be married. I actually love being married, which is people ask me all the time, why you get remarried? Because I love being married. I
Me too.
absolutely love being married. I
It's
think
my
I'm at my best when I'm married,
yep.
right? Can you talk to brothers who are watching, man, who are businessmen, who are trying to find out how to manage it all, right?
Yeah.
At Remain, we have a very fundamental philosophy. You can master it all. You don't have to master business and lose your family. You don't have to master your family and lose yourself. You can literally master it all. You seemingly have successfully been able to do that. Is that a challenge in doing that every single day, or is it something that you've mastered by now?
It's something I mastered by now, but it didn't come easy to master that. Okay. I made those mistakes too.
Okay.
Okay. That a lot of people make. Um, I'm older now. I'm 56.
Okay.
But this is actually the third marriage for me.
Got it.
Now the other women were great women too.
Yes.
Okay? They were great
Yes.
women too, but
Yes.
they weren't my permanent.
Yes.
First, when I got married, I was 21 years old.
Okay.
We stayed married for 7 years,
Okay.
8 years technically, and then I spent 3 or 4 years as a single man, screwing everybody.
Everybody.
Yeah, but I didn't like anybody.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought they were all crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's all I was doing. And then I met another great woman, and she had two little kids when I met her, and I married her, and I raised those children. But then that marriage ended. I didn't try to end that marriage. I didn't want to end it. She did, okay, but for her reasons, okay. I hadn't committed no crimes or nothing. So, and even in the first marriage, I didn't commit any crimes. It was just she became a different faith of mine.
Yeah.
She didn't work outside the home for 5.5 years. I made all the money.
Yeah.
And she started letting Jehovah Witnesses come in the house, and she became one. And
Oh.
that messed us up.
Oh. Yeah.
It threw us off, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you ain't a part of the 144,000, my guy.
Right, and she ain't either. So, so that threw us off. But that's all right. I got beautiful children out of that marriage too.
Yeah.
So, but I was 10 years between my second marriage before I met my current wife.
Okay.
My last wife, my greatest wife. It was 10 years as a single man.
Yeah.
Why are there so many dating sites? Why are there's a proliferation of seniors dating and Christian dating and elderly dating and over 50 dating sites? Why is that? It's because even people who think they want to be a player, they still don't like it.
Yeah.
They'll say they want that,
Yeah.
but they don't
for
really
sure,
like
man.
it. You need some
Sure.
help. Even as a solopreneur, that's a team sport.
For
Okay,
sure.
trying to be in business for yourself as a solopreneur, you need support systems.
Absolutely.
Man, I speak often. One of the worst speaking experiences I ever had was one of the biggest ones. I got booked to speak for Big Blacks in Government.
Okay.
And this particular year was in New Orleans, and my wife couldn't come. Now I travel everywhere with my wife because I need her help, but she couldn't come this time. And I was going to be there for 4 days in New Orleans.
Yeah.
And I spoke every day there, and it was horrible. I'm gonna tell you why. Because when you give a talk, okay, people want your books after that.
Yeah.
They want to talk to the speaker.
Yeah.
Okay? And I found myself doing my job plus her job. It was just a horrible experience for me. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it well. I was frustrated after giving my talks was great, but I knew when the talk was over, oh my God, I'm not gonna be able to handle this. I needed her help.
Yeah.
I spoke in Atlanta at Black Comics Rock. It's the convention for Black comedians business convention. And my wife was there, and it was amazing because that was where it's supposed to work.
Yeah.
Because I did my talk, I got off the stage. She had a station over there where all my books was. Go over there, get your books, then go over there, take your picture. And it was like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Boom. That's how it's supposed to work.
Yeah. For real. I mean, there is a as crazy as my wife's statement was. Crystal says, "Shh, I took a work from home day." All right, I'm not gonna put you on blast, Crystal. We got your back. Your secret is safe with us. What's up, Keith? Great political talk. Yeah, man. We just want to figure it all out.
And my brother Dwight Robinson's in the house. What's up, man?
Yeah, man. Dwight Robinson is in the house. Hey, gents, good to see you, my guy. Dwight Robinson is working with homeless and disabled vets. Shout out to him and the work that he does. The reason why I mentioned the importance of having a wife, right? And this is for every brother. Keith Lewis is newly married. He don't have a year in yet. He's got a couple months in. Newlywed, dope couple. He and Jay, listen, dope couple. And there are a lot of brothers out there that are trying to answer this question, and you answered a part of it. I'd like you to dive a little deeper, Brian, and then we're going to talk about the book, man.
Okay.
And the question is, there's a question out there among men, and as you know, I serve men every single day, right? So there's a question that's buzzing among men that suggests that there is no benefit to a man being married. Like no benefit at all. We become responsible, but there's no upside to being married other than coochie. And of course we can get coochie. That ain't it, right? It's got to be something else. What would you say to the brother who says, "Hey man, ain't no upside to me getting married"?
Well, brother Jamal Bryant, you said it was?
Jamal Bryant.
I really liked his comment.
Yeah. That
he's 70% effective when he's not married.
Yeah.
Okay. And he might even be giving himself the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, there's one side that says marriage makes no sense financially.
Yeah.
Once you get married, all your stuff is cut in half, 50% of what you had before. Right?
Yeah.
That's one side of it. Okay. But with the marriage, you earn more. With marriage, you're happier. With marriage, you have something to care for. With marriage, you're a happier person. With marriage.
And by the way, B, this is signed. Like those things that you're saying are research driven. I've seen the research.
The research will tell you
not
only are you happier or live better, but your sex life is better. Sex is better married than not married. Yes, it is. and for those of you who are married, I will give this tip because I minister to men all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, to keep your wife happy. Okay. First off, 10 p.m. sex is better than 12 a.m. sex. Okay. Get to bed a little bit early. It's better at that time. But here's the stuff you got to do every day to keep her happy. Number one is rub her butt. You got to touch her butt every day in bed, and that's passing. Never stop doing that. Okay?
Yeah. Touch your butt.
You got to do it.
Keith, you listen to Keith, touch your butt. Touch Jade's butt.
You have to do it, man. Look at Crystal.
Crystal was
You
like,
have to do
yo,
that.
yes, Crystal.
You have to touch your butt, man. Don't stop that ever. My wife gets her booty touched a lot. Okay,
Yeah,
during the day and definitely at bedtime.
yeah,
Okay?
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
we're
yeah,
not doing that.
yeah.
Oh, what's Keith?
That's a black man's code. Touch the button. Touch
You
the
have to
button.
do it. You have
Touch
to do
the
it.
button.
If it's your
If any of you have seen Duvall, I forget Duvall's last name. He and his lovely wife. He's on one of the shows too.
okay.
Um, he's on his sister's show and he's on his own show. Him and Fatima or something like that. It's called Zatima. Zach on the show.
Okay.
When he's with his wife in real life, he's actually recorded this where he's walked by her and not touched her behind. And over time, she's like, "What's wrong? Like, why you not touching my butt?" so it is definitely
you have to do it.
thing,
Okay.
Yeah.
But the classic movie Mahogany with Diana Ross,
Diana
and
Ross.
Billy D. Williams. And she's like, I'm a success. I'm a success. Let me tell you something. Success is nothing without somebody to share it with.
For sure.
It's nothing without somebody to share it with. It's
sure.
so much better.
For sure.
To share it with someone, to walk with someone, to go through the ups and the downs. How many of y'all know life is not a smooth thing? It's ups and downs, it's peaks and
For
it's
sure.
valleys.
For sure.
I'm amazing at what I do. I'm the best coach at it, okay? I make a lot of money. I make way more money than most people I know.
Yeah.
But even I have some seasons that are better than others.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay? You could do everything right and still have a down season.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
But your resilience is greater with a helpmate.
What it is definitely greater. And I would encourage every brother that's watching. I think Keith Lewis would agree. I agree.
I want to pray that. I pray that everyone finds their person. I pray every woman finds that. I know amazing women. My wife and I know 20 amazing women that don't have a husband.
Yeah.
But we want them to because their lives are better.
Yeah.
I know their life is better.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Without question. Without question. Let's talk about this amazing book, man. We got about 15 minutes left. Let's talk about mastering sales language, eliminating 21 harmful phrases, right?
Yeah, well, you committed one crime right up front today.
What's that?
You did. Okay.
Okay, what's that?
I'm going to tell you. But the latest book I published, it's an Amazon bestseller right now. It's called Mastering Sales Language. You know, the things that we let escape our lips, the things we say hurt us selling. Okay. You started off today, and we did have a conversation about this, and I appreciate you bringing it up.
Yeah.
Now, before this conversation, Brian, I used to say, I'm not a salesman. I don't like selling, all those kinds of things. When you say, I don't like selling, I'm not a salesman, your subconscious mind hears you.
Yeah.
Your subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between what's real and what's imagined.
Absolutely.
That's why pornography works. Because your subconscious, if you watch it or you examine it or think about doing it, as far as your subconscious is, you did it. Okay?
Absolutely.
So your subconscious don't know what's real or imagined. If you say to yourself that negative prayer, I can't sell, I don't like salespeople, you know, I was starting to go down that road. What's going to happen is your subconscious mind is going to conspire your world to make that true.
Yeah.
You'll trip yourself up.
Yeah.
When I said earlier today, the women that say, I'm going to introduce you to someone that's selling, all these women that have a negative connotation with the thought of a salesperson or selling, they are going to have a hard time doing business.
Yes,
because
sir.
Your subconscious mind is not going to let you do things that you find distasteful.
Yes.
It's not going to let you do it well. You find it distasteful. It's trying to protect you.
Yes.
So you can't do that. Everything that's happened well in your life is because a sale happened.
Yeah.
Every house, everything. If you have a place to live, at one point you wanted a place to live, and at one point there was a moment where that was exactly what you wanted, and you had to hope that they were willing to sell it to you so that you could buy it. That home, that car, every bit of clothing you have, every bit of food you have, all of that because somebody was willing to sell it to you. That's it. You don't get nothing like that. In the Bible, you're supposed to sell. There's a famous scripture, a parable. It's told 3 different times in the Bible. The same story. It's told 3 different times from 3 different versions. It's the parable of the talents. The man is going to go away. He gives one servant 5 talents, one 2 talent, one talent. Okay, talents were units of money. Isn't that interesting? But when he's gone, he didn't tell him how long he was going to be gone. But the guy he gave 5 talents, he took that money and he made more money with it. He bought some stuff and sold some stuff, made more money. He doubled his money. The one with 2 talents, he bought some materials, made some things, and he sold those things, ended up with 4 talents. And one was scared of losing his talent, so he hid it in the ground. He hid his talent in the ground. When the master came back and asked for an accounting, the 2 that made money with their talents, listen to me clearly. You're supposed to make money with your talents.
Wow,
they was welcomed into the inner courts where there's going to be feasting and laughter. But the one who hid their talent, they said, you lazy, you got cussed out. You lazy and wicked servant. You hid your talent. Give me your one that you kept. Give it to the one that made some money. And you get out of here. You're going to be banished into the outer courts where there's going to be weeping and gnashing of the teeth. If you have a gift, skill, or a talent, you're supposed to make money with it.
Yeah, for sure, man. And in fact, Deuteronomy 8:18, we're not going to
do it. See that right there. You got to give.
Yeah. Deuteronomy 8:18 says, never forget that it is God who gives you power, ability, influence, gifting to get wealth. The only reason for which you have the ability is to exchange it on the open market. You got to sell. Right. And so I really think that people would do themselves, and we don't want to know. Of course, you want to know what the rest what the 21 are, but you got to purchase the book.
I can tell you a bunch of them. Okay, because I don't lose nothing. But one thing you said, I'm not a salesperson. That's a negative thing that people say. I'm gonna just give you 3. I'm gonna give you 3 in the opening chapter. And the book is a very short book. It's very short. You can read it in one sitting. But number 1, things that people need to stop saying. I'm not a salesperson. That's number 1. Stop saying that. Yes, you are. And first off, you like selling. People who think they're not salesperson, I can prove you like it. Have you ever offered anything? A bicycle, a book, or car? Have you ever sold anything? And then when someone bought it from you and you got the money from what you sold, have you ever got that money and thought to yourself, I don't like the fact that they gave me money for something that I offered? No, you liked it. You like getting money for what you offer. What you don't like is the potential for rejection. That's the thing. Help people to understand rejection. That's what keeps people from not liking selling. They don't want to be rejected, or they don't know what to do first, second, and third. But rejection is a big thing. But the second one is I don't like selling. That's not true. You do too. Okay. And the third one is I don't have to sell. If they want it, they'll just buy it. The people who say that are broke, Brother Donald. They're broke and they don't know how the game is played. I don't have to sell. If they want it, they'll just get it. That's not how the games go. Is there any woman here who's ever gone on a dinner date with a man that they initially said no to? Okay. The first time he asked, no, thanks, she probably tried to turn him down. Has anyone ever actually ended up on a date? If I ask that question in a room with 100 women, 1,000 women, it doesn't matter. Mostly about 95% of them has. How did that happen? He stayed in the game in a correct way. Stayed in the game. He kept asking again. He stayed in the game nicely. He tried again. And eventually sat at a dinner table and watched her eat in front of him. Okay? That's what happened. He just didn't give up. Is Crystal Fendi Styles Clark, is she married that you know?
She's not married. Crystal's not married.
Now,
unless she got married since the last time I talked to her. She's not married.
So she's been putting stuff in the comments. I hope she's still here. Okay. But if Crystal was to like be out and about shopping or whatever and decide to go to a restaurant bar to have a drink before she go home. Okay. That's all she's doing. She's not bothering nobody. Let's say she did that. She go to the restaurant bar to order herself a drink and I approached her. Something like, let's just imagine what would happen this. If I approached her and said, hello, how are you? She probably would say, I'm fine. How are you? I said, my name is Brian. Please tell me what's your name. And if she told me her name, if I said to her, Crystal, I think you are lovely. Let's get married. Okay. She can't say positively yes. She'd probably laugh at me or joke me or get out of my face or think I'm crazy. Because That's not reasonable for her to say yes to that. That's not a
Yeah.
reasonable question. She don't
Yeah.
know any redeeming qualities about me at all.
Yeah.
Okay, people who don't understand sales, that's how they treat it.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I offered it to them. They
Yeah.
don't know enough to say yes. You
Yeah.
have to lower the potential client's risk, especially
Yeah.
today. You
Yeah.
have to make it less risky for them to give you a try.
Yeah.
I know how to teach people how to do that better than anyone.
In fact, I've been conversing today with Brian K McNeill, the sales confidence coach. He is my dude, and incredibly grateful to have a conversation with him about Lisa. This isn't really about
My wife.
Brian. This is about Lisa. This is about Lisa, right? And about his Amazon best-selling book, Mastering Sales Language, and he's
You should have
given
us
me.
both here next time.
Yeah. I will. Well, yeah, I'll definitely do
If you
that.
want, you know.
Yeah. Definitely do that. Um, so, where can people find you, B? Where can they purchase the book? And I got a special something that I want to say at the very end.
Woo, this is gonna be good.
Where
Well,
can people find you? Where can they buy the book?
okay. Right now, normally I like to get people to get the book through my sites. However, the book just got published and I want to stay at bestseller status for a little bit. So we're running at a flash sale. So right now, until the 11th of July, I'd rather they get it from Amazon. Right now, the book is being sold. It's normally going to be $19.97 or $20, but right now we sell it for $3.99. $4. You can get a book that we're going to sell for 20 until now, between now and the 11th. So I'd rather go to Amazon.com and look up mastering. Can I get someone to please type that in the comment? Mastering sales language. Mastering sales language. And the subtitle is eliminate these 21 harmful phrases and embrace words that sell. Eliminate these 21 harmful phrases and embrace words that sell.
Got it.
Yep. If you Amazon that, you'll find it.
Embrace
Words that sell.
words
That
that
sell. I teach
sell.
some good selling words, some bad selling words. I teach emotional selling words. I teach what words you should never say in the
Yeah.
presence of your clients. That's all in this little book. This book is short, but it's a freaking gem.
Yeah. Excited to so there it is, y'all. Mastering sales language. Shouldn't say sakes, it should say sales language. Eliminate these 21 harmful phrases, embrace words that sell. Um, this is what I want to announce. Brian and I have been attempting to kind of make this happen for quite some time, but Brian, I wanted to wait until he got here on the show to be able to lock him in, and so that he can't say no. This is my.
I know what you're doing, man. You already asked me before. You already asked me. I'm not gonna say no to you. So
Brian is going to be Reman's official. We have officially entered into a space where we need a sales team. We cannot get past this threshold until we have a sales team. And Brian has agreed to be the official sales trainer for our sales team at Remand. Now, here's why that's important. That's important because our sales team, our percentage that we pay sales staff or team members is pretty good. It's a pretty good percentage. You can make goo gobs of money just because our service price is pretty healthy. So those of you that are watching and say, you know what, you've been looking for a different kind of career. You've been looking for a way to get into a place where you can be mobile. You don't have to really stay in one place, and you've been looking to do something different, but you don't necessarily have the training. Brian, let me ask you this, man, as we get ready to
first off, I'm
close.
excited about helping you. I'm excited.
Yeah, man, because you know it really is an opportunity for brothers to grow, right? For brothers
I'm
to
excited about. I can see
to-
amazing things happening with it.
Brian, for the guy who says, Donald, I've been looking, because we've had several guys who say, hey man, I want to do that. What are a couple of things that a guy should possess right? Coming into the training that you're going to be doing for us, what are a couple of things that a guy should possess in order to be successful at sales?
Okay, I'll just give you a few.
Yes, sir.
One is he wants to become very organized with people.
Okay.
Systems are more profitable than skills. Someone who can adopt a system of what do you do first, second, and third, of what do you do on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. They make more money than people that have the gift of gab. Okay. Positive mindset is important, Brother Dwight, but someone who can embrace a system. Systems are more profitable than skills.
Mm,
They are. They adopt the system, and they need to have what's called great communication skills.
got it.
Great communication down into 5 different facets. It's speaking. They got to be able to articulate a thought in a way that others can understand. They don't have to use industry jargon. They don't have to try to use big words, but it's got to be understood.
Yeah.
Speaking, listening is the second criteria. You listen yourself into more sales than you talk yourself into. Your clients will tell you how to sell them. The only reason I bought the last time is because that lady was so nice. They just told you I buy from people that are nice to me. Okay?
Absolutely.
Listen the right way.
Absolutely.
So speaking, listening, comprehension. Some of your clients are not going to be good at explaining what they really want, but that can't be a showstopper. So you got to have the 4th criteria, which is the ability to ask questions. Questioning skills. I lean on the Rudyard Kipling quote. I had 6 honest serving friends. They taught me all I knew. The names were what, where, when, which, why, and who. Okay. Learning the skillful use of W questions and throw a how in there. And written. And when I say written, it's only emails and text messages. So really, someone who's willing to learn, who's willing to adopt and embrace a system, and has some communication skills can win.
Got it.
Those people, they need to be trained and trained again and trained again and trained again, because sales is not going to stick the first pass. Okay, that's why I'm excited about partnering with you. But also, it can't be completely outsourced. You can outsource a lot of it, but you'll still be a part of the sales force, Donald. You'll have to. Matter of fact, every single person involved with the project has to be a part of sales.
Got it.
No one gets to say, I'm not in the sales department, or sales ain't my department. But you're not working right. Because you all are ambassadors, every single one.
Yeah.
Okay. So those few things there. And the other skills are mechanical functions. I'll tell you guys, learn how to say this word more often. And if you'll use this word more often, most adults have taught themselves how to stop saying this word. But I'm going to tell you, when you're offering your services, learn to use this word often and comfortably. It's the most emotional word in the English language. Okay, people buy emotionally 9 times faster than logically.
Absolutely.
So learn to use emotional words. The number one and most emotional word is the word love. Love. Consider how can you use the word love in offering your services, but not where you're the star. Like, I love helping people to do this. Of course you do. It's your business. It's better saying you're going to love. Our clients love.
Yeah.
Say it often and comfortably. You'll find yourself getting closer to them.
Got it, man. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, bro, today. You are phenomenal. Any last words you want to give? You want to shout out your lovely wife? You want to give
yes,
where they can
I am
find you on
half
social
of
media?
The Empowerment Duo. My name is Brian K McNeill. My wife is Lisa Santiago McNeill. Yes, that includes the Santiago part. Yes, every time. And we make up what's called the Empowerment Duo. We host a podcast Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 9:52 a.m. everywhere. YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Roku. Okay, you can catch it everywhere. But what I want to say to you is your life matters, and every day matters, man. Days matter. Okay, every single day. If you're not winning to the level that you want to be winning, there's the answers around you. Talk to Brother Donald. Okay, talk to Brother Donald, and he'll answer or he'll refer you to me. Okay, I don't want to talk to you. I can't help everybody, and I ain't trying to. But like, if someone come to me, Donald, and they say, if my husband would just support me more, I'd be more successful. Oh no, that's not for me. You got to talk to Lisa first. Okay, then get to me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, clearly today, again, I want to overemphasize the fact that I couldn't even get you here on the podcast without joking, without making
That's
sure
my baby, man.
without making sure Lisa's okay.
With my wife involved.
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
So,
Without question, man.
I don't mind people trumpeting my wife. I don't mind it at all.
Yeah.
It always makes me look good too. So
For sure. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with us today. Hopefully you gain. I know that you gained
mastering sales
today.
language.
Mastering Sales Language. Get the book. Go to Amazon. You'll see it in the show notes a little later, and then you'll also see it here. Mastering Sales Language. Eliminate these 21 harmful phrases and embrace words that sell. By Brian K McNeill. This has been a phenomenal time.
I've enjoyed myself.
I've enjoyed myself, brother. I love and respect you, man. And we will see you guys real soon as we close today's podcast. There we go. The Remand Project is a coaching and consulting firm specializing in personal and leadership development for adult Black males, seeking to break the vicious cycle of missed potential so that they themselves transform their personal lives, their sense of leadership to their families, and their legacies that they want to leave for business and culture. We destroy this cycle on two fronts. We confront both the institution and the individual. We address the institution because, according to the statistics, Black males are under assault and are targeted for extinction in ways that their white counterparts are not. We are over-incarcerated and under-educated. There are systems in place, political systems, media systems, and religious systems that serve as intentional, or some say unintentional, barriers to the Black male's advancement. As a result, we work to raise public awareness about issues confronting Black males, promote healthy and positive images about Black males, curate spaces to share information and resources about programs, services, and support for Black males, support knowledge creation and dissemination around these issues, and provide a forum for Black males to both speak and act for themselves. We address the individual Black male because we cannot avoid personal responsibility. We are now overmothered and underfathered. We make bad social choices, and we avoid responsibility for getting ourselves out from under the social plight that we face. We will develop the moral compass and character necessary to face the adverse realities that are faced in everyday life. We live by the premise that even that which is not our fault is still our responsibility. In 2019, we answered the call to transform the culture one man at a time. Our society, our families, and men in particular, are in a state of crisis. And the goal of the Remand Project is to curate the largest, strongest, and dopest community of Black males in the entire world. We then create awareness and action against the institutional and individual impediments that exist against the foundation of our culture and overall society, which is the Black male.